Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a very special one. We're going to talk about eyeshadow palettes, my favorite topic of makeup. Like, I love eyeshadow palettes and you guys know it. I'm going to talk about my top fall palettes for 2023. I have a mix of old palettes, new palettes, existing palettes, discontinued palette that you all might have already in your collection or which is new in this year. And if you're looking for like one palette or two palette to add to your collection, I have you all covered. I have approximately 20 palettes in front of me, so I'm gonna like run over these palettes. I've done like reviews on all of these palettes on my channel before, so it's nothing new. So let's start off. I'll go in like a mismatch order so that I can grab your attention. But let's begin. The first palette that I want to talk about is Jewels and Gems from Odens Eye. Now, if you're a person who loves those jewel tones to wear in the fall season, but you like muted tones, this palette is going to be right up your alley, especially like the inclusion of the shades is absolutely stunning. Like, you have those murky greens, these blues are like muted, you have burgundies, this mauvey pinky shade, it's lovely. You have these inclusion of greens and grays, which I feel like it's all up for fall shades, and I love that these shades are muted. I cannot even tell you how much I reach out for this palette. This stays right on my vanity. That's how much I love it. It's considerably a newer palette because this was released this year and I've non-stop used this. Even for my office looks, I just go for like majority of the matte shades from this palette. I feel like the mattes are the standout unique shades of this palette because I do not have such tones of matte in any other palettes that I own. And obviously the shimmers are lovely. Odens Eye quality eyeshadows is stunning, but the mattes, the tones are super unique. So this is definitely one to consider if you were eyeing to buy a new palette to the collection, but you were afraid of colors, but you love muted tones. This is right up your alley. The next palette that I have to talk about is from Ladybug, and this is the Floresta palette. Now, this palette can be actually worn even in like spring season, but it has all the shades right for fall. I really love. Like, if you hide this shade, I feel like this is completely fall palette. Like, I love those greens and then murky yellows. The shimmers are stunning. It's dimensional. It's just beautiful. These two are my favorite shades of the palette. I love it. I love the inclusion of this mauvey pinky shade just because this paired up with any shimmer is just gorgeous. But even these pop of shades that I am afraid of, if I use these in like inner corners, it just gives a hint of shade or on like the lower lash line. But the shade is stunning. This shade and this shade, you should see it. Like, I'm not going to swatch everything, but look at these shades. The dimension is outstanding. I have a code with Ladybug and it's just Smithy Sony, and you can save 10% off your order. Look at the dimension. Like, look at the dimension. It's stunning. It's just stunning. No questions. This palette is absolutely outstanding. And look at the artwork. Look at the artwork. I cannot even. Okay, next let's talk about Glaminatrix Cosmetics. Majority of the eyeshadow palettes is from indie brands, okay, because that's what I love with a passion, but I have mainstream brands thrown in here and there. There's no drugstore palettes in this collection just because I feel like I'm more into high-end as well as indie palettes. So yeah, let's move on to Glaminatrix. There are two palettes that I want to talk about, Into the Night palette and Glaminatrix Sugar and Spice palette. This is a recent launch. This was a little more of the older launch. Was it released this year? I think it was released this year, okay? But yes, it has fall tones in a palette. If you just hide these two shades, the fluorescent green and the pink shade, it's completely a fall palette. Like, can you see that? It's just stunning tones, and I love the inclusion of the tones because I'm a person who loves muted tones but deep tones, and these shades are unique and it's stunning. The shimmers are like a liquid metal. Let me show it to you. Again, I was not about to swatching anything, but you need to see this. Like, this is one swipe swatches. It's liquid metal. It's stunning, you guys. Stunning. Again, I have a code with Glaminatrix too. It is Smithy Sony. But that's not why I'm recommending these palettes, okay? Because you know, I'm super honest. If people know me, that's one thing that I'm known for. I'm a super honest person and I'm not gonna recommend anything that I do not like. And this is the newest Sugar and Spice palette. If you are a neutral person but you wanna just dabble into colors, this is the palette. This is such beautiful palette and beautiful tones. It has a beautiful row of like exciting dimensional multi-chrome shades. These have some like pastel tones as well as duochrome shades, and there's a center row with all neutral matte shades. I have like 5 looks using this palette on my channel. I'll link it in the eye cards above for you guys. This palette is stunning. Again, use my code SMITHYSONY to save some money off, but stunning palette, and look at the quality of the packaging. I loved this direction that Glaminatrix went into, because I love that the pans are smaller and they do not want to charge us more. And this quality, I'll take 10 times over any other quality eyeshadow palette. Like, I love the faux leather packaging, love it. Okay, let's talk about 2 older palettes in my collection. But the quality of these mattes are, oh my god, it gives me feels that no other mattes give me. Like, they are stunning. Like, in the makeup industry, I feel like their mattes are absolutely stunning. And I'm talking about Melt Cosmetics, and I'm talking about their Gemini palette and the Gemini 2 palette, both of them beautiful for fall season. I'll talk about the eyeshadow that I'm wearing on my eyes because I love that too. Okay, I digress. Okay, let's start with Gemini. Gemini is a beautiful palette. A person who loves neutral tones, neutral brown leaning tones, and grungy grains. This palette is beautiful, like absolutely stunning. Again, these palettes are matte heavy. You need to love mattes to love these eyeshadow palette. But the quality of these mattes, if you like deeper grungy tones, matte is the one for you. I love this, but I love this 2 times more. I just love that. I really do, but I'm not more into like grungy greens and stuff like that. This has my name written all over it, and you know why. I love these mauvey tones, like rusty burgundy tones, but somehow when I wear these grungy greens along with these pink, the looks that I get is outstanding, like outstanding. I do not have any code with Melt or anything, but if I do see anybody's code, I'll link it in the eye cards above for you guys. I'm sure people would be there who have codes. Use their codes and save some money. Melt actually does amazing Black Friday sales. So if you are waiting to get something from Melt, wait for a Black Friday sale. I got both of these palettes for like, I don't know, for $50 together, because it was like a bundle deal and was 50% off, because individually the palettes are for like $54 or something. I got an amazing deal, and the palettes are outstanding. These palettes are also magnetic, so you can interchange the palettes. I've actually done a video, I think, where I've interchanged both of these palettes and made my own perfect grungy palette. I think that was the headline of the video. I love mixing and matching these shades from both of these palettes, and I love it. Okay, let's move on. Older palettes from my collection, but so apt for fall season that I had to mention. 2 from Anastasia Beverly Hills, the Subculture palette as well as the ABH Jackie Aina palette. I started my channel using this palette. So this palette has a nostalgia feeling for me. I would never get rid of this palette, never. One, the shades are outstanding. The shadows that she chose was absolutely amazing, especially for a person of color. I felt like this was a revolutionary palette. In that time, in that makeup industry, this was stunning. Like, I have a special place in my heart for, even now, for these tones. I still get excited when I look at this palette. Like, I love this palette. ABH Jackie Aina, you cannot find it anymore. So is this palette. You cannot find it anymore. But if this is not fall, I don't know what is fall. This is the Subculture palette. I love, again, these are the tones that you can actually find in the Into the Night palette from Glaminatrix, because these tones are what is like included in that palette too. I felt like this, you can find it in that Glaminatrix Into the Night palette. If you missed out on this, and if you want 2 times better quality, Glaminatrix is the one to go for. But again, this palette, if you have it in your collection, bust it out because this is amazing. Amazing. And I didn't find any like fallout or anything issue with my palette. I actually got this palette way after all these drama was there. So yeah, my palette is in perfect condition. So yeah, I would highly recommend this. If you have it in your collection, get it out. A newer palette to me, but if you, I don't know even if I want to consider this as a fall palette or not, but I am going to use this all across the fall season because the tones are just beautiful. This is from Bella Beauty Bar, and this is the Sun and the Sea palette. The Sun and the Sea? Yeah, the Sun and the Sea. I don't know why. I always call it the Stars and the Seas. I don't know why. Okay, the Sun and the Sea palette. And look at the palette. This, after swatching this palette, my jaw was on the floor. Like on the floor. I love each and every shade that is included in this palette. Like each and every shade. I love the tones of browns. You know, I'm a basic person. I love the tones of brown. These multi-chromes are outstanding. It's absolutely stunning. Like I love these. I love everything. I love everything. This is a little more deeper than this shade. Would I have loved this to be a little more deeper? Absolutely. Would I have loved these inclusion of different tones of browns apart from like I can see this is a warm tone, this is a cool tone, this is a lot more orangey, and this is more deep. This could have been a lot more deeper, and one of these shades could have been a little more lighter. But I love that they included this shade because this can be mixed and matched with any of these matte shade and just can transform the look. Again, I've done like 5 looks using this palette, I think, on my channel, or 3 or 5. I don't know. But I'll link it in the iCards above for you guys. I again have a code with Bella Beauty Bar. Again, I'm not recommending because I'm an affiliate. I am recommending because this is outstanding. Like I love it. I cannot wait to see what they have coming for Halloween season because I'm already drooling with this eyeshadow quality. Cannot wait. Okay, let's talk about a Natasha Denona palette because it will be a crime not to talk about it because I use it so very much in my everyday life. And this is Natasha Denona's My Dream palette. And this palette is just beautiful. This is like my perfect palette. And I've made it perfect for me. I don't even like bother to switch because majority of this palette is from My Dream. 3 of these shades I think is from Retro palette, which I mixed in, but you'll be good with My Dream palette. I'm not telling you to buy like both Retro and My Dream, but My Dream palette is great for fall season. I just mismatched it here and there just because I wanted like looks, not to think about it, and looks with each column. And I can get looks like a cool tone look, a neutral look, a mauvey look, a fun look, a pinky look, a warm tone look with this palette. This palette is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm hoping that Natasha Denona would do a big sale during the Black Friday sale. Especially she does it with like the older palettes, and this is an older palette, if you say so. It's definitely 1 year old. So I'm sure she would have some deals for this, and I would love for you to try out. If you have not tried Natasha Denona as yet, and if you are my skin tone and you like the vibes of the eyeshadow that I go for, try this. You'll absolutely love it. A lot of affiliates right now have a code with Natasha Denona too. I know I use the code PADDY15 for 15% off. That would get down the price absolutely, but wait for a sale and then use their code on top of it. You'll have an amazing deal then. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's talk about this palette because this is very, very special to me. And this is from Sydney Grace, and this is the Tiny Marvels palette. This is a beautiful fall and a spring palette to me. I love these tones. Love these tones for fall season, and this is just beautiful. I have to talk about this. This was in collaboration by Mel Thompson, who's no longer with us, but the tones and the shadows. This is completely Mel in a palette. And I have to talk about it. You know how much I love Sydney Grace. Like, I don't have to talk much about it, but this is an outstanding palette. Let's talk about a palette. Again, if you are a person who likes muted tones, and if you're lighter than me, more on like a fair and a light side, I feel like this palette is beautiful. This is from Alter Ego, and this is the Midsummer palette. This dupes ABH Nouveau palette. I feel like this is beautiful tones for fall season, especially if you're a lighter person. I would say if you are like a like a tan to deep person, you can avoid this palette because this doesn't go much deeper. But for a lighter mid-tone, like pale skin, this is absolutely amazing. I love this shade. I often wear this paired up with any other palette in my collection. That shade is my favorite, absolutely favorite. So I just wanted to mention about it. Again, you can use my code SMITHYSONY to save 10% off. If you've been eyeing ABH Nuvo, this palette is really good. Okay, let's talk about an older palette now. This is from Sigma and this is the Warm Neutrals palette. Again, if you love burgundies, you are absolutely gonna love it because this is full of burgundy tones and mauve tones. And I love the quality of Sigma eyeshadow palettes. I really, really love them. Look at the shades. Like I love, you can go mauve, you can go burgundy, you can go neutral, you can even go like grungy green. Like this palette is stunning for fall season. I love, love, love using this. I love bronzy tone and like, you know, mauve burgundy tones on my eyes, especially for fall season. And this is a palette that I always continuously reach out for in the fall season. I really, really love it. Okay, if you're a green lover, don't tell me that I did not recommend this palette because this is absolutely amazing. If you're a green lover and if you want like a complete green palette, this palette from Glamlite, the Dirty Martini palette, it has some beautiful grungy green tones. It has with a beautiful variety of tones too. I love, love, love this palette. I definitely have to use this even more this fall. So this is like a reminder for me, Smithy, do use this palette. I know I'm not a big green person, but these shimmers with these beautiful greens are absolutely stunning. I have to swatch it and show it to you guys because this is beautiful. Because I just love the quality of Glamlite shadows so very much. And the variety that they give us is stunning. Like look at the shadow and the quality. Love it. Love, love, love it. Even though this is not green, but it has like green specks all throughout it, that makes it such a unique palette too. I really, really love it. Another green palette. If you are into greens, this is a very new palette, but such a lovely palette. And I have to talk actually about two palettes from Sugar Drizzle. These two palettes. Trick or Treat. I'm not sure if you can find this palette or not, but this is a newer palette. Let me show you this. This is called Mojito because summer. This is a 9-pan eyeshadow palette. If you are not into greens and if you want to dip into greens, this is the perfect palette for you. This is not too much green, but it has two beautiful multichromes too. This beautiful purple to green multichrome and this like, you know, bronzy green coppery shimmer. Have beautiful duochromes too, and then 3 stunning mattes. Like I love the combination of matte and shimmers that they have in this palette. Let me swatch it for you guys because you need to see. This is stunning, absolutely stunning. Like look at these shades and tell me if this is not beautiful. I don't know what it is. Like, can you see it? Can you see what I am seeing is my question. Like, look at that. Look at that. It's just so stunning, so shifty, so beautiful. Sugar Drizzle just does something with their eyeshadow. To give us those quality eyeshadow at the price that they are charging us is absolutely stunning. Not saying to charge more price. I'm saying you're doing an amazing job. Continue to do that job. I have a code with Sugar Drizzle too. It's Smithy Sony. That can save you 10% off. This palette, Trick or Treat palette, is a treat. Like I love this multichrome. Like this multichrome, this multichrome, this is a multichrome. 3 multichromes and 3 beautiful shimmer. I feel like this palette is perfect for fall. Like if fall is there in a palette, this is perfect. Let me show you what I mean by it because this is just gorgeous, just gorgeous. I actually swatched like 4 shades. Like look at that. Look at that. What? Okay, let me show you how stunning these shades are. Oh my God. Just outstanding. Oh, I am feeling breathless. It's so pretty, you guys are so pretty, so pretty. Love it. Love it. I have no words for Sugar Drizzle. I just love them so very much. They're so good as a brand too. They've been just amazing. Amazing in my makeup career. The career that I have had on YouTube, they've been very, very supportive to me. And with such amazing quality, who can say no to it? I love them. Okay. An older palette. Let's move on to an older palette, which is absolutely outstanding. You cannot find this anymore, but if you have it in your collection, you need to get this out. This is from Colourpop, and this is at Forestside palette, which was in collaboration by Beaute, Christy here on YouTube. This is perfect for fall. Perfect for fall. The only shade that I like mismatched is this shade, which is West Coast. I put like more of a neutral champagne shade. Instead of this, it was like a bright gold shade. But everything else is exactly the same. And I love this palette. The quality is outstanding. If you have it in your collection, you know exactly what I mean. I've used this several times on my channel before. I also have 5 looks using this palette. Just give it a search and you'll definitely find it. I love it. Okay, let's talk about another palette from Wicked Widow Beauty. And this is definitely one among my top palettes that I tried this year. I could not gather my thoughts around it because, again, I'm not a green person. But the greens and the blues and the tones that are there in this palette, the quality is chef's kiss. Love this palette. I cannot wait to see Wicked Widow Beauty come out with another like a Halloween palette this fall. I'm hoping that they are working on something because I would love to see what they are creating because this was outstanding work from there. I have to say where things are due. I did not love their initial palette that I tried. This palette knocked it out of the ballpark for me. Knocked it out of the ballpark. This definitely is going to be among my top 10 palettes that I have in my collection. Like, this is stunning. Stunning. I actually traveled with this palette when I went to India, and that's how you know like how much I love this palette. I love these tones. I love how dimensional it is, how beautiful it is. Let me swatch a few shades, because it's just so stunning. Even the mattes are so creamy and so lovely. Like, the quality is absolutely breathtaking. I don't have like a smoother skin right here, but look at the shine. Look at the shine. It's so pretty. And look at as compared to the other shiny shades that I have on my hands. Like, it's outstanding, outstanding. And those are Shifty too. I don't even know what to say. This palette is stunning. I do have a code with Wicked Widow Beauty. I don't remember. I think it's Smithy Sony. I'll put all my links and codes in the description box below for you guys. Please use it if you want to save some money. Even if you don't want to use my code and use somebody else's code, that's fine by me. But try to save some money and you'll absolutely love this palette. Okay, let's talk about another palette, which again is discontinued, but this palette was there for a long time, and this is from Adept Cosmetics, and this is the Heather Austin palette. Again, such a beautiful fall palette, I would say, but with inclusion of such special shimmers. I love this palette so very much, so very much. I feel like all the mattes that were included in this palette is just apt for fall, and all the shimmers that she included in this palette was just right for me. Like, I love those purpley tones, you know that. I love this beautiful shade. I love those shades. This is such a beautiful like multi-chrome. You have to see this. Like, these shades are so gorgeous, so gorgeous. Like, look at that. Look at that. Let me swatch it for you guys. Wasn't I not swatching anything? But I ended up like swatching everything. Like, look at that. Look at that. It's just so stunning. So stunning. Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, the last two palettes are from the same brand, and this is the last thing that I have to mention, and this is the palette that I'm wearing on my eyes today, and this is from Gorman Girls. I have to recommend two palettes for you: Spooked palette and the Nightshade palette. Nightshade palette is a recent palette from them. This is from last year Halloween season. Let me show you this first, because this is still available and still stunning quality. Absolutely stunning quality. Look at this palette. Look at this beauty. This is absolutely lovely. I love everything in this palette. This shade is outstanding. This is a never seen shade before, I would say. It's such a beautiful shade. This shade is breathtaking. This hot pink shade shifts to a beautiful orange. Look at those tones. Look at those tones. So pretty. Where am I going to swatch all these things? Just ignore. Like that shade, this and this. Look at that. It just shifts to so many different directions. This is a beautiful pink shift and this is a beautiful green shift. It's such a stunning bronzy greeny shade. Really, really beautiful multi-chromes, I would say. It's just stunning, absolutely stunning. And this shadow that I have, the palette that I'm using on my eyes today is the Nightshade palette. Guys, I don't know what did they do with this palette, but this is stunning, absolutely stunning. I have this on my outer corners, this on my lid, but on the outer corner, no, actually, wait. I have this on my outer corners. I have this on the outer corner of the lid. And then I have this in my inner corners. I have this woody shade on my lower lash line. I also had this poisonous shade all across my eyelid. But I also topped it with one of the Terra Moon's shade, Starburst, I think, right on top of it. And that's why you see all these glimmery action. But look at the eyeshadow. And look how stunning it is. It's just gorgeous. I loved this palette. I have several looks using this palette on my channel before. I am gonna link this in the iCards above for you guys to check it out. And these were all of my fall palettes that I want to talk about because I am an eyeshadow fanatic. I get giddy when I talk about eyeshadow palettes. That's how much I love them. And I wanted to share all my fall palettes for you guys, because these are just absolutely outstanding. Check out for yourself which eyeshadow palette are you interested in. If you want to get it in your collection, or if you already have in your collection, use those. Send me some pics, tag me in those photos. I love to see your recreations that you do. That's my favorite thing, like talking to you guys on my DMs and talking to you in the comment section below and looking at your photos that you tag me in. I love it. Absolutely love it. But yes, that's all for today, guys. If you did like this video, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week. Every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.